One Piece, 10 Strongest Characters Faced by Whitebeard. Over the years, Whitebeard has been in countless battles on One Piece, and he has fought some of the strongest characters in the series. Edward Newgate, famously known as Whitebeard, was one of the greatest known pirates to ever sail the seas of One Piece. Before he made a name for himself and came to be known as the strongest man in the world. Whitebeard was a member of perhaps the most dangerous pirate crew in the world, known as Rock's Pirates. Later, he started the Whitebeard Pirates and became a force to be reckoned with. Over the years, Whitebeard has been in countless battles and fought some of the strongest characters in the series. Ten, Crocodile. After the death of Gold Roger, a new era of pirates began and Crocodile was among those who set out to sea in search of glory. At some point in his life, he challenged Whitebeard of the Four Emperors. How exactly this battle went down isn't really known, however, what the story tells us is that Crocodile faced a bitter defeat. Consequently, he went on to hold a grudge against Whitebeard right until the tides of the era changed during the War of Marineford. 9. Portgas Ace. Like Crocodile, Ace wanted to challenge the strongest man in the world to announce himself to the entire world. After hearing about a young rookie taking the seas by storm, Whitebeard accepted his challenge and decided to engage him in combat. As expected, Ace was defeated by Whitebeard easily and was then offered to become his son. Eventually, Ace took on this offer and went on to become the 2nd Division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates. 8. Marshall Teach. Teach was one of the many people who Whitebeard considered to be his children right until he murdered Thatch in cold blood. At Marineford, Teach came to put an end to Whitebeard by mercilessly murdering him. Surprisingly, even a dying Whitebeard was strong enough to defeat and nearly kill him. Ultimately, Whitebeard was shot several times until he passed away. 7. Aokiji. Whitebeard clashed against all of the Navy admirals during the War of Marineford and proved to be superior to them all despite being old and heavily injured, and Aokiji was one of them. Aokiji attempted to take Whitebeard's life on several occasions but failed every time. Later on, Whitebeard entrusted Aokiji to Daimon Jozu, who gave him a run for his money right until Whitebeard's health started worsening. 6. Kizaru. Another one of the Navy admirals, Kizaru engaged an injured Whitebeard in combat several times in the War of Marineford. He did quite well against him, and the fact that Whitebeard could hardly use his haki was one of the biggest reasons for that. Nonetheless, Whitebeard was a monster who managed to hold Kizaru at bay and paved the way for Luffy to save Portgas Ace. In his prime, Whitebeard would have easily dealt with Kizaru in battle. 5. Akainu. The strongest of the 3 admirals before the time skip, Akainu was incredibly powerful and was the main opponent that Whitebeard faced during this war. Despite his worsening health, Whitebeard was able to deal with Akainu admirably even after being hit by his magma powers several times. After the death of Ace, Whitebeard was enraged and defeated Akainu in just 2 hits. Something that just goes to show what a monster he truly was. 4. Kazuki Oden. After Whitebeard started the Whitebeard Pirates, the crew ended up on the shores of Kuri about 33 years before the current storyline. Sensing a beast on the coast, Oden rushed to challenge him and the two engaged in fierce combat which blew away everyone in their surroundings. The result of this battle was never revealed to the fans, however. Oden ended up becoming a member of the Whitebeard Pirates and eventually led the 2nd Division of the crew. 3. Sengoku. Fleet Admiral Sengoku and Whitebeard were mentioned to have been rivals in the past. During the War of Marineford, the two engaged in a tactical battle where Whitebeard proved to be a handful for Sengoku and saw through every single plan of his. Long before the Great Pirate Era began, the two likely fought each other several times, as was hinted by Whitebeard when he arrived in the Bay Area of Marineford. 2. Shanks. Formerly a member of the Roger Pirates, Shanks has attempted to fight against Whitebeard and his men on several occasions. However, the biggest of these clashes came after the Enies Lobby arc when Shanks decided to meet Whitebeard and ask him to recall Ace. As the conversation didn't go the way Shanks had hoped, the two clashed with each other and unleashed a burst of Conqueror's hockey so powerful that even the skies split apart. The winner of this clash remains to be unknown. But it was most likely a draw. 1. Joel D. Roger. Prior to Roger becoming the king of the pirates, he and Whitebeard used to fight each other all the time across the Grand Line. In fact, those two were on the same level in terms of power and were equally good as pirates. Their last clash came around 26 years ago on an island in Paradise. There, Roger and Whitebeard engaged in a battle that lasted over 4 days. Eventually, they had a banquet since they were also great friends and had massive respect for each other.